and I can't absolutely put it all down. So I figure if one day I can explain certain things properly, people can jump online and take part in it. This is not for me. This is for everybody and anybody. Whatever gets in there, I don't care if my name's at the end. As long as the flow and the order is there, that's all I look for.
Well, that's why I wanted to have you on tonight, was so people could take part in this. And again, the phones are open at 855-450-FREE. If you have a question, there are some more Facebook questions here, Mr. TACPANS. I wanted to share those with you. But before we do that, you mentioned a bigger problem. One of our Facebook questions previously was, what are you going to do in 2013? You said you're going to continue on your path you're on now, but you mentioned a bigger problem in the future. What was that?
Okay, this is something I never get into. I've never voted in my life because I've never been there for myself. I don't trust any of these governments. I don't believe in them. That's our problem. Our problem is having something greater than us, breaking every single law, and every time they break a law, they make a new law to... There was no laws. The minute they put someone in jail, they made a law for it. They found someone else, and they kept making laws for anything they wanted. Now they just do whatever they want. I'm lucky. I'm in Canada right now. But we're also in trouble in this area.
I have to say that you are obviously a man who knows his audience, and our audience is definitely probably on board with that portion of your message, at least. You're a Ron Paul guy, aren't you?
Yes, when I saw him, I thought that was me. I cried. That was when I saw that was my dream. He's my dream. He's my dream. A man with two names, a man who can go run and pull at the same time. A Ron Paul, is that what it was? Ron Paul?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I play with words. You asked me that question. I did the government. You asked me another question about 5281 or 7286.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
No, I think Daryl did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want me to finish with that one?
Well, you said that 23 became 99, and I was just confused by the math on that.
Okay. What happens is 2 times, this is all simple math. 2 times 3 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, it equals 11.
2 times 3 is 6.
2 times 3 is 6, right. 2 plus 3 is 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Which equals 56. And you see, in my world, I'm already top to the moon with this.
Now, you also said in another video that the moon is an iPod. Can you explain that one?
I believe the moon, the reason why it turns the color that it does is because it fills up with the humidity and water from the transmission of electrons or electricity. I believe that we're upside down being pulled by magnets right now. The actual ocean is in the sky, and they're reserving that sky. The reason we have thunder and lightning is because of the shock waves that go through the 2 skies up above. Otherwise, where's the thunder and lightning going to come? Because there's no way the clouds are that thick, or the planes wouldn't be able to go through it.
Have you ever been abducted by aliens?
No. Wait a second. Hold on a second. I think so. 45 minutes every single night by the REM sleep.
More questions from Facebook for you, Mr. TACPANS. This is a good one from Chris Grajizik, who I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think he's actually in Canada as well. Do you make any special predictions for December 21st? Because I don't know if you've heard, but a lot of people think that something's going to happen. Something world-changing.
You know on that date that the simple thing to just say on that date if you're doing a search for something is that's the day that the whole world changes because one calendar disappears and a new calendar comes in. I don't know what that means. But that is the day of 7777 for me. 7 years, 7 months, 7 and 7 days in between the 2 moons. That's when I got sick to that day. And every single year... 1 year later, from every year, something has happened to me.
When you think that you've gotten sick, when is the date that you believe you got sick? Was it the day that you were visited by the apparition, or was it some other day?
No, about 2-3 weeks before.
Uh-huh.
I just started seeing everything. I was looking at the signs on the highway, and they were bigger, and they said something to me. I just didn't know what it was, and I was more awake and more alive. And then all of a sudden, I saw this, and once they started giving me those pills, it was terrible. It was just the worst thing in the world. One pill gave me 300, the other one gave me 5 times as much. I was seeing dead fish in the bottom of my bed. What the hell? I said, what is all these pills? And I went out of the hospital. They let me out, not when I was well. They let me out when I was in depression sick.
Oh, my.
And depression, let me tell you one thing about depression. You don't want to go there. It is an ugly world, but I learned about it. You know what it is? It's getting caught between the 2 sides of your brain, not being able to make a decision. You're going left, touching everything twice and 3 times, and you can't go back to one side because the pills are pushing you to the other side.
Wow.
Brain 4 and brain 6.
Nemo Freeman asks on Facebook, he says, ask Mr. TACPANS if he thinks whether or not numbers are only a construct of the human consciousness to understand and quantify the universe around them.
Wow, that's a big question for me. I'm only going to answer it the way I understand it. Rubik's Cube, okay, is made for this world, if that's the question. Yes, Rubik's Cube is the whole, it's everything. It's absolutely everything, except the shape is wrong. But numbers is everything. Without a number, you can't have a coordinate. Without a coordinate, you can't pick up any coordination. If you're not picking up any coordination, you can't listen to any radio wavelengths, any computers, nets. There's nothing that would work, not even a car. Nothing can work without the net. You wouldn't be able to breathe without the net. It would just fall down on top of you. I mean, go to Colorado, you see how you breathe there. Then go up to a higher mountain, see you can barely breathe over there because you're cut off by the matrix, which is basically...
What is the matrix?
The way I see it from the movie, it's just a whole lot of cross wires that are going 45-degree angles from one side all the way to the other side and coming from the other side, all the sides of the world, and they crisscross each other, creating diamonds and wolves. That's the way I call it.
Okay, and you said that the Rubik's Cube is the wrong shape. What shape should it be?
Well, we're a football. This world is a football. That's why I say the Middle Earth is not a core. It can't be a core. It wouldn't work because we're 3 times as long as we are high, in general speaking.
I think some of us are a little higher than that.
We are on an angle. We are on an angle. What happens with Rubik's Cube is if you take a look at it, to go from one, you have to go down, you go forward, and then you go down, and then you go over, then you go down, and then you go over. That's the way we are. And then you go to the next step, and the next step, next step. They have been building underneath us for the longest time.
Who?
The governments, or whatever it is, whatever Galactic Federation, the Vulcan Federation, whatever federation, whatever anybody is set up.
Do you believe in the reptilians?
You know what? Everything is doubled in this world and tripled. Everything is repeated for a reason, and every word, Einstein, Darwin, Jesus, Moses, Abraham, words in French and English, the way they keep transferring, how can I explain this? Okay, let's take the word mister. You look at the M, and you look at the R, and you put it together, you say mister. I look at the M, I go, M sounds like EM to me, but in French it says love.
You know, one of the things I really enjoyed in your videos, Mr. TACPANS, is when you talk about love. That's one of the times that I feel like you're the most understandable in your videos, because, again, a lot of this is beyond me. But, when you talk about love, I get it. I feel like you are really somebody who appreciates that.
Love is the universal language, Ian.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it?
Well, back to communication again. If the lines were not connected together, they would not be in love. By being in love, they can transmit. By them being able to come over to us, we can transmit. By our heart and our lungs coming together, it's all communication and connection. Your heart is like to me, I don't think it's in the brain. The brain is a radiator.
Mr. TACPANS, much love to you. I really appreciate having you on the show here tonight. Folks should check out your blog, mrtacpans.blogspot.com. They can link over to your Facebook from there and your YouTube channel. Thanks for being with us. More coming up. This is Free Talk Live.